Welcome to IComparable Part 3. And in Part 3 here, we're going to continue where we were at the end of Part 2. We determined real quickly here that if we click the button and sort our integers, no problem. But if we try to sort our objects, it is going to throw an error on us right here. And we're still in break mode here. So first of all, I'm going to get out of debug. And we are going to correct our problem. Okay, I'm going to make my toolbox go away. We're going to go to our class and we are going to implement IComparable. Depends on where you're from. So there's IComparable. We're just doing the standard. We're not doing the generic. And there it is. Now, if I try to execute this, it's going to tell me that I'm not correctly implementing the interface because the interface is going to call for a compare to method. Okay, now I want to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to implement the method and I will put in my class a public and it'll return an integer just like it asks for it, compare to, and it will take an object data type. We'll pass it in as obj into our code, and then we are going to do a little magic in here. All right, I'm just going to copy this code in so that you don't have to watch me try to type this. Okay, notice when the object comes in, we're going to create an instance of we're just going to tell it that class 1 MC, we're not creating an instance. We're just telling it that it equals MC equals this, whatever's passed in, cast to a class 1 type. All right, then we're going to check the value of what's being passed in, okay, against this MC value right here, notice, which is MC, and if it's less than that, if the value that's being passed in is greater than that, actually it's going to be -1 and so forth, and you can work through the logic there, okay, or it'll return a 0. All right, now I'll show you later this will work, but then we're going to go back out to our code now. I'm jumping back and forth on you, but if we run this now, it should work. All right, but we're not going to get any output because we haven't coded up our list box to see that. So we'll sort our integers, that worked. We'll sort our objects, and notice we're never getting any kind of error or anything, and we got our ready back here, and so I'm just going to break the program, and we're not getting errors now. So by providing this interface and providing the method that it called for and putting in here the functionality that it needed to see to know how to sort those objects, we are okay. And to really see that we're okay, what we're going to do is write a simple little for each out here, okay? And so we're going to say for each variable m in MC, then let's just work on our list box here. List box 1, items add m, the value, and we should now loop through our array here and see them. Okay, so now let's click it again one more time and we will run it and we should see the magic happen. So we'll sort our integers, everything's fine. We will sort our objects and there they are, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11, just like that. Now if I go back out here to my code, notice 3, 4, 5, 8, 11 was what I was passing in. Again, array sort here is expecting that particular compare to method to be out there. Now I want to show you one more thing right quick. I don't even have to do this stuff, okay? Because I can just simply comment this out, okay? And that integer data type that we're passing back, we can return the value, and we can call the compare to method on that integer type and give it the value to compare. Okay, now notice MC is not showing because I took out my cast here. All right, so we're going to bring it in, we're going to cast it to a class 1 object, and this time we're going to kind of cheat, and on that value integer type, it has that compare to method out there, and we can pass that, and it will automatically return -1, 1, 0, all that, okay? So that's a neat little trick, and we talk about extension methods in a different place in the course. You can add your own extension method here and do some really cool stuff, all right? So if I run this, we'll execute this one more time. They're all sorting my integers, and they're all sorting my objects, and everything's working just fine. A couple little tips there. Now, this is the way to get your head around interfaces. Since Microsoft included that IComparable interface into the integer, all this is okay. But anytime we want to sort something that doesn't have this particular method, all we have to do is implement the interface, and back in under the hood here, it is expecting this IComparable interface to give them the compare to method. We can write some code out here for them, and it suddenly works, and we can sort our own objects. And Microsoft certainly couldn't do that back then because they didn't know what our objects would be, what they would be sorting. This is a good example of basically separating our code, decoupling the code so that we can do whatever we want to with it, and we can use interfaces to make that magic happen. So anyway, that's a quick look at IComparable. We won't go into quite as much detail on the other interfaces, but this should give you an idea of the magic interfaces can bring to the table and how to use the IComparable interface as well.